Hey, Scott.
We're going.
Are we rolling? Okay. How about on the computer?
Yep.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming. Today is August 3rd, and we have...
No. It's not
August 3rd, October 3rd. Sorry. October 3rd at 5 o'clock for our Board of Trustees regular meeting. Do the roll.
Call the roll. Mr. Crandall.
Here.
Mr. Mahoney.
Here.
And Mr. Genowine and Mr. Sinclair absent.
Okay. If you'd all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes of September 19th.
I'll move approval.
Second?
Mr. Crandall.
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney.
Yes. Any additions or deletions, John?
None.
Okay. I see, it looks like we've got some folks from Park Place here today, so thanks for coming tonight. I don't want to say I'm embarrassed by this, but I feel bad because that zoning hearing is at 6 o'clock this evening, and I see you sitting here. Well, Daryl,
It was advertised.
did you advertise it as that way?
No.
How did it?
The Park Place was not advertised. We did
Okay.
notice out for a PUD amendment.
So
The
we-
zone change was advertised.
So we can listen to Park Place this evening at 5 o'clock then?
But that's not a zone change.
The
Oh, wait a minute.
applicant won't be here until 6.
What's that?
The applicant would not
Oh.
be here until 6.
Well, I'm embarrassed by this because this is the last time this is going to happen, because we did this before. I'm not yelling at Daryl by any means, but I think we need to tighten this up. Either we have a meeting at 5 o'clock and not wait an hour, because the last time we had a zone change, we had people coming in at 5 o'clock and they had to sit here for an hour. It's just not right for these guys to be here for an hour. I'm not mad at you, I'm just,
Well, I don't think,
Yeah.
wait a minute, I don't think that's Daryl's fault. The board changed that.
the board changed it, but I think we could probably do a better job of communicating.
I agree.
And I feel bad that you guys are here.
I agree with the communications, but the board changed because we had complaints that people couldn't be here.
For the 5 o'clock.
And it's on the website at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, we have to tighten that up because, we have a zone change, which was 6 o'clock, but the other one isn't. Now the applicant won't be here at 6, so I think we have to hold everything at this meeting until 6.
I apologize, folks. I'm sorry. Your time's valuable.
The agenda doesn't indicate the zoning is at 6 o'clock.
No, it's on our agenda for 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How's that?
Well,
I look at you.
here.
No, I'm just saying, why isn't the zone change?
I'm doing it how it's been done since the beginning of the year, when this was discussed. So,
I mean, Bruce is right.
Zoning and Brown agenda, I got on the internet, doesn't say anything about 6 o'clock zoning.
It's on the township website.
It's on the website.
6 o'clock.
Well, but if you pull up the agenda, it's on our agenda, isn't it? Am I wrong? Isn't this on
maybe
the
there needs to
agenda?
be a special maybe there needs to be a special meeting instead of off of this agenda, it has a special zoning agenda.
I don't know, but this, again, it's the second time this has happened this year.
On
And
the agenda, it's at 6. Because we moved it to the bottom. Well, I think it would be unfair to Mr. Brown to
Oh, no, I agree with you.
not have
Yeah.
him here for that.
But
The zoning,
hold on, please. Hold on. Sorry. We're administratively just trying to figure this out,
the
okay?
I agree with you on
the
that.
zoning change must be at 6.
Yeah.
That's what we.
Well, I
advertise.
think they have to be,
Right.
but this is kind of sloppy.
Oh, I
I
agree.
don't know. I don't know whose fault it is, but
So they were going to go out and call Mr. Brown. Does that matter? Were we still going to wait for 6 o'clock?
I think we have to wait for 6.
Okay.
I don't see Tim Brown here for that hearing.
at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, well, I don't see him here now.
Well, he's,
Probably waiting for 6 o'clock.
yeah, that's exactly, Bruce.
Someone is calling him right now to see.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I just, there's people that may have looked online and would come at 6 o'clock, and I'd rather, I gotta do it right the first time, and I apologize that you're here. I mean, there might be other people that might have an interest to come at 6 o'clock outside Park Place. Maybe someone has an interest in another neighborhood that has some of the issues you guys are dealing with. So I apologize that we made this mistake, and I'm not sure what to say.
Treasurer isn't here because she has a HOA meeting tonight.
I mean, we have one on our face, we look terrible. I can't say any more than I apologize, but we're gonna go at 6 o'clock, and I appreciate, I'd love to buy you all a lunch or coffee if you could, but
You could give them a run check.
yeah, but if you'd love for you to come back at 6 o'clock, and I can't do anything about it, I apologize.
You buying a coffee here?
I'll buy you a coffee, Bruce. So again, please accept our apologies. This won't happen again, under my watch anymore. Okay, so, let's go to the road service department, Rob, if you would, please. And again, I apologize, guys and ladies, sorry.
Good evening. I just have one item on the agenda. We had a employee unexpectedly resign, so I'm requesting Resolution 17114, authorization for the road superintendent to advertise for hire for a new utility position. This is not an addition, this is filling a vacant position.
I'll authorize Resolution 17-114, an authorization to advertise for utility worker.
Second?
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Thank you, that's all I have. Unless you have
Thanks, Rob,
questions.
sorry that he left. John, do you have anything you'd like to add this evening? You've got a resolution for the street lighting?
Are we up to me already?
No, we got fire department next. I don't think there's any.
Oh, is there anything, Mike, I'm sorry, Chief, is there either one of you guys? Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, now I'm up.
Now you're up.
Yeah, I have a resolution to accept a petition and set the date for a hearing. This is a new one. This is 12 Rights, Village of 12 Rights, Plat 2, and we're accepting the petition and setting the hearing on November 21st at 5 p.m.
I'll move for Resolution 17110, accepting a street lighting petition, setting a date for hearing for the Village at 12 Lakes, Plat 2.
Second.
Call the roll, Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes. Fiscal Officer, Scott?
All right, I've got a monthly report for August and 3 resolutions. Through August, you can see the revenues ahead of last year. This is the first time ever that the county auditor has done the second half settlement in August. So you can see all the percentages are up from last year on the revenue side. And I expect once we get the rollback in homestead, reimbursement will be at 100%. Expenditures are all within the budget. They're percentage-wise are a little higher than last year because along with the settlements come the collection fees, and we booked all those in August also. So, along with the labor agreement increases and the retirees and the collection fees, that's why we're up over last year then.
So that 1,200, the 1.2, that's going to balance itself out next month then, based on what our input is for this month?
Yeah,
Okay, and normally we'd see that
in September.
in September as opposed to August. Okay.
Let's see, I've got 3 resolutions. The first one is, we did like a 9-month review of all our accounts and found potential deficiencies in a lot of the accounts. You see most of them are payroll related, and that's because we didn't budget for the labor agreements at the beginning of the year, but now we have to cover those line items. And we were able to cover most of them by moving money within the funds. So that's what this does. This moves money from various line items into the other line items that we need to cover.
So you need a resolution on that?
Yes.
Okay. I'll offer Resolution 17155, transfer appropriations.
Second?
Call the roll, Mr. Crandall.
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney.
Yes.
The next resolution is 17-116, and this is returning the advance to the fire fund of the EMS transfer that we made earlier in the year. Revenues coming in on the EMS fee, so we're able to transfer that money back.
I'll offer Resolution 17116, the return of advance of funds.
Second?
Call the roll, Mr. Crandall.
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney.
Yes.
And the final one is Resolution 17-117, and these are the line items that we could not cover within the funds, so we have to do an additional appropriation for these.
I'll offer Resolution 17117, appropriation from unencumbered at balance.
Second?
Call the roll, Mr. Crandall.
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney.
Yes.
And that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Scott, good work. Open discussion. John?
One item under open discussion is that next month, November 7th, is the election day. The room here will be used for voting. Traditionally, what we've done is move the trustee hearing to the Wednesday, the next day. So if that's okay, I'd just like to make the announcement that the November 7th meeting will be moved to the 8th.
The 8th is Senate Commission. At 6 o'clock.
Can we get, if we have it at 5, we'd be all right. Yeah.
Is there anything on the agenda that you know yet, Darrell? You seen anything? There's some stuff on there? Okay.
How are you handling that?
Well, our original resolution at the beginning of the year was, if it's on
No, I
election day,
know
we do
that.
it
No, I'm
the
saying,
next day.
how are we going to handle both?
Well, I think we can, if
You're at 6?
yeah, I think we'll be okay.
Oh, we should, okay. We'll just have to make it a,
Not a problem.
Okay, so I just want to make that
that
announcement,
should work.
Okay.
that the November 7th meeting will be November 8th, Wednesday.
Okay.
And I think we have one person that signed in for non-agenda items.
Yes. Rob, if you could come on up, please.
My name is Rob Wright, 7542 Hollow Creek, 43617. I wanted to give gentlemen an update on the noise issue that we hashed out over a number of months from October through May. It's been a rather quiet summer, so I want to thank you for your support at the meeting on May 16th. A couple of Sundays there was some bike riding, but by and large it's considerably better than it was last year. My question is, and if I recall properly, at the May 16th meeting, and Mr. Crandall, I don't think you were here,
I was not.
there seemed to be a rather strong commitment that the noise resolution was going to be reviewed and adjusted, or at least considered for review. And I just wondered if that has been addressed, if anybody has taken a look at it at all, to make some clarification, not only just for us, but for other noise complaints that might come down the road in the rest of the township.
Great question.
I can answer that.
Please.
Yes, I have collected a few noise resolutions from other entities, and I've talked to John Burrell. As you know, the legal wheels spin slow if we're going to change it, but we are working at it. Possible changes, but any changes we make, we want to make sure they're legal and enforceable. And that involves whether we put decimal meters on decimals on the sound, distance, reasonable person, all those things have to be looked at. So we're looking at it. It's moving slowly. I mean, I have to admit, it's not the highest priority I have, but I am working on it with
Okay.
our counselor.
Any idea when you might be?
I'd like to have something by the end of the year, because usually this flares up starting in the spring and summer, so if we can have something in place by next year, I think we'd be in good shape.
Is that in our zoning code? I think it is.
No,
Where's it at?
No,
No?
it's in it's a noise resolution.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Yeah, it's not,
So it isn't something that, okay,
right.
got it.
Great. Is there maybe, could we let Mr. Wright know, because I really appreciate all your effort in the last year coming to these meetings. Could we let Mr. Wright know kind of a status, maybe November 1st, something like that, see, just so we're on track to make to have
Sure,
this a goal?
I can keep
So,
them updated.
okay.
Thank you, and I would be remiss not to thank the chief for his support and participation on Mother's Day. I know he got in trouble for that, but hopefully your mother has forgiven me for interrupting today. It was, yeah, I understand that, so hopefully we won't have to do that again. Well, you won't have to worry about it, maybe. Things work out in your favor, but no, overall, it's been a good summer, and thanks for your support. And yeah, if you could keep me updated, and not that I have any legal input, but I'd like to be part of the solution if possible going forward. All right?
Thank you very much.
That's it. Thank you, gentlemen. Take care.
Chief, thank you for your effort on that. Again, I guess I'd like to say it one last time. I really sincerely apologize for having this meeting delayed till 6 o'clock, but with that being said, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
No, because it's the same, we would just recess.
Oh, we're going to take a recess, that's right. Okay,
And
correct.
so we'll just,
Yeah, thanks.
we'll just do a
Okay.
recess.
So we're going to take a recess at 5:20, or 5:19?
No, we
5:20?
need a motion on that.
I do not think we need a motion to
Oh, we don't?
recess.
Oh, okay.
The meeting is still
Still open?
Okay.
open.
Okay. And we'll be back at 6 o'clock. Sweet. What year did you get out of St. Francis? I was 83. So you need to know. Yes.
When did you change?
I would say Johnson. No. Like Tim Malone and Tom Kelly. Yeah. McNamara.
I thought he was a developer.
I'm sorry.
A developer.
We just recessed it so we can go back in. You want your,
No, except for some of these zoning ones, we will test. You're smart.
Hey, yeah, we had a great meeting. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you.
I'm sure around, I just have to talk to some people that I know.
Cool. All right. Nice to meet you.
Hey, we
Thanks for saying hi.
Hey, Phil.
John, gentlemen.
John, we recessed, we didn't change it.
No, I know, I had a crown come out this morning, and I had 5 appointments in Flint.
Oh.
We're going.
Are you ready?
Yep.
I would like to come out of recess at 6:02, and I would like to make note that I have joined the meeting at this time. So, with that, we will get to the zoning portion of our meeting. Do we need to call the roll again or anything of that matter?
No.
No.
Okay, so zoning department, Darrell, you're up.
Good evening. We have a public hearing for the zone change request from M2 to C4 for 7145 Boulder Lane and C2 to C4 for 3348 Meyer Drive. These are two adjoining parcels with a combined acreage of 4.7. 9,100 square foot medical office building is currently sitting on the Meyer Drive property, and the parking area for that building extends onto the Boulder Lane property. There's 2 access drives currently. One off of Boulder Lane and then one off of Meyer Drive. And then the rear half of the property is currently wooded. The applicant's requesting these zone changes to establish a single zoning for both parcels and then combine them into a single parcel with the intent of developing an additional office building on the rear of the parcel. Sylvania Township Land Use Plan calls out this part of the township for professional/business office use, with C4 being the only recommended zone district for that corresponding land use plan recommendation. Lucas County Plan Commission and Sylvania Township Zoning Commission each unanimously recommended approval of the zone change. Zoning staff finds the proposed zone change consistent with the recommendation of the Township Land Use Plan, as well as harmonious with neighboring uses, and recommends approval for both parcels, 7145 Boulder Lane and 3348 Meyer Drive. The applicant's here to answer any questions, and I can answer any questions the board may have.
Do we need to offer the hearing for anybody?
Well, I'm going to open up a public hearing for anyone to speak for or against. Do we have any comments as a board here? No?
Not,
No, I
yeah,
Okay.
I don't have.
At this time, I'd like to open up a public hearing. Anyone either here to speak for or against this change? I'll do that at 6:05. Seeing that there are none, I would like to close the public hearing portion and proceed to a vote. I'll offer Resolution 17-112, amend the previously approved, oh no, wait, that's the wrong one.
That's 111,
Where's it at?
111, right at number 3.
Okay. 17-111, approve the zone change from M2 to C4.
Second?
Call a roll, Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
The next item I have is Resolution 17112 to amend a previously approved plan unit development for Park Place of Sylvania. You received the staff report on that. It was originally approved in October of 2003 as a 130-acre development with 425 lots, 2 access drives on Brent Road and 1 on Sylvania Avenue. PUD was amended in 2009 due to the applicant selling the southern portion of the development to the Olander Park system. This revised PUD brought it down to 69 acres and 222 lots and 2 access drives on Brent Road. The access drive onto Sylvania was eliminated due to the southern portion of the PUD being sold off. In 2014, the parcel, Scott, if you can go to, I believe it's the next, maybe the one after that. Yes, that one, thank you. In 2014, this parcel was then sold to the Olander Park system. That parcel contained one of the Brent Road access drives that was originally approved. And when this was sold off, the PUD should have been amended at that time. The applicant is now requesting the amendment to that previously approved PUD to correct this omission. This will leave this part right here as the Park Place of Sylvania PUD. And it'll be approximately 37 acres and 109 units and 1 access drive on the southern portion of the development. I'm sorry, that'd be the western part of the development. Lucas County Plan Commission voted 8-1 to recommend approval of the PUD amendment based on that body's staff report recommendation and the 11 conditions presented in the staff report dated September 27, 2017. Sylvania Township zoning staff also recommends approval of the PUD amendment to Park Place of Sylvania.
At this time, I would like to open up, or anybody have any comments? Or wait till we... I'd like to open up the public hearing at 6:08 for anyone here to speak for or against this proposal. And I believe everyone is signed in, so I'll go down the list and start calling. Mr. Worm?
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm Bruce Worm, 8901 North Park Lake Circle in Park Place. As was pointed out, the original plat had two entrances to the development. With the selling off of that property to the east to Tops, one of those entrances was eliminated. In my opinion, for any subdivision development of this magnitude, I think there should be two means of egress, particularly from a safety and fire protection standpoint. I would like to quote a couple of items in that regard from the Lucas County staff analysis. The Lucas County Engineer's Office indicated that the standard for two access points is typically 100 lots. This development currently has 109. Sylvania Township Fire Department has also indicated that although they do not object to the single access point, multiple access points should be provided. In my opinion, gentlemen, I would like to offer you giving due consideration to adding that second entrance to Park Place when this revised PUD is approved. A couple other points, quoting from the county staff analysis, it says, turnaround shall be constructed at the ends of Park Place Boulevard and East Park Place Circle. That's impossible to do, gentlemen. There's no land there now since that was all sold off to Tops. Also, going on, in the Plan Commission's staff analysis, it says sidewalks are to be constructed on both sides of all streets in the subdivision, but also along the north side of Brent Road. That must be a typo, because the north side of Brent Road has nothing to do with our subdivision. But if that was changed to sidewalk being required on the south side, I don't see why any sidewalks along Brent Road have much of anything, if anything, to do with this revised PUD. So I would recommend that those two items be clarified before this approval. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Bruce.
Mr. Eisel?
Hi, my name's Mike Eisel, and I live with my wife and my daughter. We live on 4813 Sylvan Prairie Court. All my life, I lived out west in the Brookie area, and we just moved to Park Place end of April. And we really liked the development. We liked everything about it. And when we bought on a nice pond, and we saw the plant, and had a nice cul-de-sac. And I think it'd be bad if they did put a second entrance, being as we bought the place the way we thought it was going to look like. Now, if they want to change it, I guess I don't think it's right for us or anybody else that lives in the area to change that. So I just want to give my 2 cents worth, and I guess that's all I really have to say. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr. Eisel.
Thank you. Greg Kistner?
Good evening. My name's Greg Kistner, and my wife Liz and I will be a year tomorrow. We signed warranty papers at 4812 Sylvan Prairie Court. And we bought into this development that, as an architect, I was initially involved in half a dozen of the designs to begin with, back in 2004. And when we saw the plat being available with the cul-de-sac as is, we jumped on it and are extremely happy to have the Plat 6 be developed just exactly as it is. And I've gotten a slug of emails from residents along Sylvan Prairie Court that are really against the second entrance. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr. Kissner.
We have a number of them here tonight.
Carl Teal?
Gentlemen, my name is Carl Teal. I live at 4765 Park Place Boulevard. I'm on the main entrance coming into the development. With the addition of the most recent plat being developed, I think we're going to see a lot more traffic coming in off the only entryway now. And I also question the suggestion that additional entrance be made when the number of homes in the development reaches more than 100 units. That will be the case when this is finished, the last plat. So it is my recommendation that an additional entrance or point of egress or ingress be made available. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Mr. Teal.
Thank you. Bill Forsey?
Good evening. I'm Bill Forsey. I live at 477 Park Place Boulevard, Sylvania. I moved into the subdivision in 2005, and at that point, there were three entrances to the subdivision. Since then, they've cut it down quite a bit. I'd like to see at least two entrances, one to take some of the traffic off the one street coming in and going out. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr.
Thank you,
Forsey.
sir. Tim Brown?
I'll defer to my senior partner, my brother Bush.
Okay.
Yes, I'm Butch Brown. I'm CEO of Cumberland Construction Corporation. I guess I'd like to say that we accept the conditions and recommendations of the Plan Commission and respectfully ask the trustees for their approval of this amended PUD. I'd also like to say, I'd like to apologize to everyone, the trustees, the people in Park Place, because frankly, we had no idea this was going to happen. As far as we're concerned, it's kind of a technicality. We thought everything was approved. We were building it per the preliminary plan. We've put in two plats since we sold the last piece of property to the park, and this has never come up before. Everyone approved the two previous plats, the Plan Commission, the Township, the County Engineer's Office, the Sanitary Engineer's Office. We did this is our last and final plat of the development. There's 16 lots in it. We've done it the same way as we've done all the previous plats, including the last two, which, like I said, were done after we sold the parcel to the park. Had we known that we were supposed to bring this in and get it amended, we would have done that. It was just, frankly, an oversight, I guess, on our part. I apologize to everybody for having to go through this. We've never intended on having another entrance since we sold the acreage, the eastern part, to the park. We were just following the preliminary plan that we submitted back 14 years ago. So, and in our opinion, you know, a second entrance is not necessary. There's the 100 units per entrance. I can remember having discussions with Mike Myers at the Lucas County Engineer's Office years ago. That's not like 100 and it stops, approximately 100. If you look at the sequence of events here, in 2003, we had 425 lots. We had 3 accesses. That's about 141 lots, I think, per access. When we sold the southern part, that left us with 2 entrances with 222 lots. That's 111 lots per access point. And now we're 109 lots with 1 access. So we're 109 lots for the access. There's plenty of other subdivisions and developments in the area with many more lots than that with just 1 entrance. I never thought that this would be an issue. I don't think it is an issue in my opinion. The main street, Park Place Boulevard, was designed wider. It's wider than the 27-foot standard street for the main entrance. Also, the main entrance is a boulevard entrance, so there is kind of 2 access points coming in and out. So, like I said, and last but not least, I mean, it will be a major economic negative impact on us to have to change this layout and try to come up with another layout with an entrance off of Brent. Frankly, you know, we'd lose lots. There'd be a lot more street. It's a small plat. I don't think it's economically feasible for us to do. So, anyway, with that, having said that, I respectfully ask for the approval for the amended PUD. I also don't think it would be fair for the people. We certainly didn't intend to, you know, for this to happen, but we sold those homes on Sylvan Prairie Court, like the people said, with the understanding that was a cul-de-sac street. And now, you know, to make it another access to Brent Road and not a cul-de-sac street, I think it's extremely unfair to them to do that. So, again, we ask for your approval. Thank you.
Thanks, Butch.
Kathy Rowe?
My name is Kathy Rowe. I live at 8840 Brent Road. I live right across the street from this access road. We're now dealing with the construction going in there, tearing up our yard, and my husband goes out and fixes it up. We don't complain. But that would be living in a fishbowl to have all those lights and all that traffic, not to say what's going to happen trying to turn in our driveway, getting hit in the rear end. It's a busy road out there. It's 55 miles an hour, and we're going to bring another road out there. I just think it's a hazard, and like I said, we're going to get headlights all night long in our window. We don't want it. I'm sorry to say, but that's how we feel.
Thank you.
So we're opposed.
Thanks, Catherine.
Ken Rowe?
Same as her.
Good husband.
Smart man.
Linda Studenka?
She must be the dog.
Okay, then Todd,
Do you want me to use that or?
please.
Please.
And state your name and address.
I'm Todd Studenka with my wife Linda. We live at 8659 Brent Road, which is the top property up there. I have more questions than anything, if this is all right. Nobody sent us anything about this PUD. I don't even know what a PUD is. Kathy, just the other day, happened to bring this letter for the one for the county. I just wonder if you could explain to me what a PUD, I mean, what are they asking for? I don't know what a PUD is my first question.
Well, a PUD is a planned unit development.
Okay.
And they submit something that looks like that says we're going to build it to this specs.
Okay.
So now that they haven't, they've got to come back in and hopefully get an approval.
And to the specs of, you're asking for this access road?
Well, the original
what
PUD
specs are
was
they not?
approved based on what's there, including the shaded areas.
Okay. All right, because I was under the assumption they're looking to build more lots around my house, and I'm like, oh my God. But you're just saying, because they said they'd have 2 entrances, they should have, that's unless they amend this PUD.
Yes.
Okay. My only comment is, I guess the entrance isn't gonna bother me. I agree with Kathy, it's gonna be very unsafe. I have a U-shaped driveway there. I don't know who's been by my house, but I have people who tear through there constantly. I can be standing outside. My wife's kids could be outside, and they tear through that U-shaped driveway. My thing is, if you put an entrance in there, and this is just my opinion, you're gonna have people going through the place. I mean, even though it is a ways around to the other one, they're gonna use it as an access to go in and do a turnaround, is what they're gonna do. And I'm just telling you, it's unsafe. And I know that because I have a driveway that I consider almost unsafe, because people don't care. They don't care if things are parked there, they don't care if dogs are out, they just zip through. So I guess that's my opinion on it, and I appreciate you explaining that to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Darrell, can you explain how he didn't know about this meeting?
An amendment to a PUD is an administrative action. It does not require public notice in the blade or mailings out to neighboring properties, as opposed to a regular zone change that would require those things.
Okay.
But it says, notice of this hearing is mailed to owners of property within the proposed area. I'm pretty sure I'm in the proposed area. So I didn't get any mail.
Is that the county?
This is the county one.
Yes.
Right.
And I didn't even get this. Kathy brought it to me.
Right. The county has a different set of procedures. And so
What are they?
They apparently do mail them out to, I'm not sure what the footage is, it may very well be 200 feet. I don't believe they posted in the blade, though.
Okay. So the people who are here just happen to hear about this through neighbors or...
Well, or from the county mailing.
Okay. Does anyone else care to speak for or against this proposal?
There are several of us here that allowed the others to speak for us because we didn't want to pick up the time repeating the same statements over and over again. So would you like to show hands?
I think we've got pretty much the gist of the concerns and things. So, thank you, though. At this time, I would like to close the public hearing at 6:25. Does the board have any comments or concerns, or?
Yeah, just briefly here, and I may ask for Ray's assistance on this. A couple of years ago, God, it's been 3 years ago, somebody next door to us, 2 doors down from my house, somebody got robbed. And it was not only scary that my house got 2 doors over, somebody might have been in my backyard, but I called Ray and I said, Ray, I need you, if maybe you could just go up to the front here. Ray's our deputy chief for the police department. And I said, Ray, it's too bad I didn't have a camera or anything like that, but I called you about this project, and I was asking your opinion from a safety standpoint of one inlet, one outlet. Can you just expound a little bit on it, and just what's your thoughts as a guy that's been doing this a long time on,
Okay. From a law enforcement perspective strictly, law enforcement likes one entrance in and out. Bad guys like more than one entrance in and out. It's easier for us to contain the area if something's going on in there. We have cameras, I believe, Chief, with like plate reader cameras. We're limited with that. If we have a problem, which we have used those in the past, we can allocate those resources just to the one entrance. There's also a factor of anonymity that bad guys like. We had issues in Toledo that they would drive down streets and big screen televisions look like a movie theater in your house. What they would do is just look at those things and they'd steal a car the next day and load it up during the daytime, because they could just drive through the neighborhood. I live in a cul-de-sac neighborhood, and I know the anonymity is pretty restricted. I mean, most people, it's basically the same demographic as lives in Park Place. I pull in there, I live there, people look at the car, they wave, everything else. There's only one way to go in and out. And if I'm a bad guy and I go in there and I have to circle and come back out, it's going to be double the chances of them getting played off my car, because people in that neighborhood know who belongs in there. They know the cars, they're familiar with the vehicles that travel in and out there every day. If you have a through street, if you can go through that development and go right out the next side, your chances are cut in half of noticing anything bad. So we just prefer one entrance and one entrance. And I think you'll be safer. I think your homes will be more secure. I think it's a better way to go. You don't want multiple entrances in. You don't want an escape route for people. If you see something happening in one of those cul-de-sacs, you can call us, we can block off the street if we have to. There's bad guys like methods of escape. And if you cut that in half, then I think you're better off.
Thanks, Ray.
Chief Freilich, do you want to add anything to the fire side of things, or?
Just briefly, actually, ours is just the opposite of the police. We prefer more access, always different. Anytime the potential is there to have one entrance blocked, having a second access for people to get in, if we're blocking that entrance, or if somebody else blocks it and we need to get back further, that allows that opportunity. The fire code deals with it in the annex, but we do not adopt the annex. And actually, the annex states any subdivision with 30 or more homes should have would have two entrances. And none of that is across the board here in the community at all.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Mike.
You know, I know that Butch and Tim have a great reputation and build a great product. My only concern with this is that, you know, I know the safety services just met this morning, and, you know, the Plan Commission just met, Wednesday or Thursday of last week. And to be honest, I don't have a good enough grasp on this for me to take a vote tonight, so I'm planning on abstaining, just because I don't think there's been all the options that have been looked at and things, and I don't see what the issue would be to hold it up for 2 weeks while we take a little closer look at it. I do know we got a park system right next door that needs money, so that might be a pretty quick, simple option. But, you know, again, I'm pretty confident that Cumberland Construction builds a good product, and, you know, it's a good neighborhood, but...
So you don't think the 30 days notice that we've known about this would give enough to answer?
Well, you know what, I was waiting for the Plan Commission's decisions.
Which was 2 weeks ago.
Well, I didn't see anything till last week.
Okay.
And then I know that Mr. Zeitler met with the police and fire this morning at like 9:15. So, and I have talked to him by phone, but again, you know, I was told that they were requesting a cul-de-sac be put in there, and...
Okay, I get it. John, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, there's numerous examples. I know the old 100 lots, I know where that came from. Well, we've got numerous examples right across the street, Spring Crossings, and it has a lot more lots than this. It's got one way in, one way out. The second thing is, and I think Mr. Brown mentioned this was an oversight. I think it's an oversight on our part, too. We've known about this transfer of property for a long time.
Mr. Crandall, you might have known about it. You were on their payroll.
Whose payroll?
Cumberland Construction?
Oh, God. Give me a...
I didn't know about it.
Before I was a trustee. Come on, John, that's something.
Well, at the time when this stuff was happening.
Can I finish?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. But it's an oversight on our part. He built 2 plats, nobody said anything. Now he's down to the final plat. In my mind, you can delay this, but, and it's about a split conversation here. Kathy Rowe called me 2 years ago and said, are we going to have a street coming out? And I said, I don't know. I'll check with Darrell. I looked at Darrell's plan, I said, no, Kathy, there's not a street. Then they put in the construction entrance. Kathy called and said, John, I think they're putting the street in. So I called and they said, no, it's just a construction entrance. So, you know, here we are, the final plat. This is not the only example in our community. There's numerous examples. Past, I don't know how they happened in the past, but I think we're somewhat guilty too, because there's 2 plats built. I do have a question for Bruce. I think you made a good catch on the north side Brent, that doesn't make any sense. It must be a typo, south side. I'm not sure we can waive that walk. That's a subdivision requirement. I'll leave that up to Darrell if that is within our authority, but I'm guessing that's a plan commission thing. But I think we all understand the issue, and I'll make the motion to approve Resolution 17-112 to amend the previously approved PUD.
Second.
Okay, call the roll, Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Abstained. All right.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your comments.
At this time, I would like to make a motion to adjourn at 6:33.
Second.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
Hey, thanks, guys, for coming and staying for as long as you did. You guys all showed up at 5.
You know what, I think we need to change the meeting.